Go ahead.
Okay, so it's Boots and Road so far. We're taking a look at the draft from 2069. Everybody should know Road, of course, being the legendary new commissioner who stepped in to save the day when Hooper retired
Okay.
on the
Hi.
end. Yeah, hey Road, welcome, man. I think we're
Thank you.
hoping to
Thank
get
you.
Rylan
Thank
to
you.
join us as well. Um, yeah, so I think we're just gonna, a little bit like we did last year, take a take a look over some of the draft picks and maybe see who did well and see who's maybe feeling a bit sad about some of the, some of what happened after the reveals. Um, yeah, and maybe get into, I don't know, so a little bit of whether we like some of the bar profiles or whatever, or if we think some of these guys maybe, they're overall maybe not so high, but they got it where it counts. Or yeah, just to give some thoughts and stuff.
Sure. I'm good to go.
Yeah, so I mean, we got a few AI teams at the moment, right? So maybe we don't need to spend too long on the picks from those guys. But I mean, we gotta have a quick look at Morris Davis, don't we? I mean,
Yeah.
he's a beauty, isn't he?
Yeah. He's amazing. He's amazing.
Yeah.
He's massive for a QB.
Oh yes, so he is. I hadn't noticed that actually.
Yeah. I didn't until now, but
Yeah,
I have a chance. I had a chance to have a look at him, and he's insanely big.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And he's 24, right? So he's got a little bit Bo Nix about him, maybe.
Yeah.
But I guess his bars are better.
Yeah. I think so. I think so. This
Yeah.
this is going to be a legendary QB. Bonix, I'm not sure, but I mean,
Yeah,
you're a Broncos fan. I
that's
don't want to
the
make you sad. Let's leave it at that.
yeah. I'm not. I don't know, man. I'm too long in the tooth to be too worried about. My whole life depends on whether my QB works out or not. So I can live with it. So it's
Okay.
it's we're actually looking at these guys now. I think we're like 3 weeks into the season, right? So we're actually going to get a little bit of how they're doing data as well. And
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, Morris Davis is a 27% developed rookie, and he looks like he's playing like one so far.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I don't know how many weapons does he have at his disposal, but he's not doing
yeah. Let's have a
very good.
let's have a quick look what they got. Um, yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
not great to be honest.
not that's the. I mean, you probably would like some of these guys, but most people wouldn't.
Yeah, probably it will depend on their
Yeah,
bar profiles, but
yeah.
yeah, it's
You
not
you
looking good.
you would we got Rylan here as well. Good morning, evening.
Hello, sir.
He's connecting to audio.
Yeah.
Hi, Rylan. We don't hear you. So maybe you need to fiddle with a couple of settings on your side. This recording has been plagued by technical mishaps so far.
Yeah, 1 hour.
Just
1 hour of
a
mishaps.
small hour on a Saturday morning.
Well,
Okay.
it just makes it harder for the East Coast guys in America to join,
Very, very
uh,
much so.
I mean, it was 3 in the morning, I think, for them anyway. So
Yeah, exactly. We'll let Rylan fiddle around with the settings on his
okay,
side and see if he
yeah.
joins us in a minute.
Actually,
Okay, and
we were talking about this AI guy, so
yeah,
I mean,
exactly right. I mean, yeah,
and his player card explains it. I mean, you don't have to talk very much about this guy. I
no. I
mean,
mean, maybe just as by way of wrapping up, what would you, based on what you can see here, what
yeah.
would you have traded to move up to get this guy?
Oh, every pick I have for the next 3 years. I mean,
Yeah,
this guy is ridiculous.
yeah. I
It's
thought,
better than my QB actually. And my QB, I don't remember. uh, how much draft capital did I surrender for him, but it was a pretty good haul, I think.
Yeah. All right.
Oh, we have someone else just joined.
Yes.
Hey, is that you,
Hello.
Tuson?
That is me.
Yeah. Hey, man. How are
Hey,
you?
hello,
How you
sir.
doing?
What's up,
Yeah,
man?
we're waking up. Yeah, good to hear. We got Ryland's maybe. I'm not sure if he's got a little bit of like issues getting connected to getting his mic to work or whatever. But yeah, so far it's me, you, and Road, man.
Yeah.
And we just started here. We're just having a quick look at Morris Davis. We were wrapping up. Road was saying he would have traded all his picks for the next 3 years to get this guy if he needed a QB. So maybe same question to you. How
Bro,
much is Morris Davis worth to you if you were to trade up for him?
I'm sorry. Can we really like look at Rhodes quarterback real quickly? Because
Yeah, we can.
all 3 years? Are you sure?
No,
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
not when he's got Glenn
Can,
Pierce
can, can,
already on
can,
the
can
roster.
we can we look at what you got? I mean, Morris Davis is great. He's absolutely fucking phenomenal, but I, I I don't think he's worth all 3 years of your picks if you have Glenn Pierce.
No, the
Oh no,
question
no,
was
no.
if you didn't have Glenn Pierce, if you needed a QB, how
Yes,
much would you
yeah,
have traded to get it?
absolutely.
Yeah,
Everything.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Is one of those, isn't it? I mean, he looks incredibly
I
similar
mean,
to Pierce, actually, right apart from the timing
if
bar, maybe.
if you
Yeah.
look at my quarterback history in this league, it is absolutely crazy. I have lucked into two franchise quarterbacks and
Well, that's nice for you.
have have not had to spend like a lot. So I think Zellerkraut was like a top 15 pick, top 16 pick. And then Javier Heath was, I think, like 10th or 11th overall.
It
In
was
a in, in a
13th.
yeah, in a very good QB draft, by the way. There were like five QB prospects, and I just got my pick of the litter, which worked out for the most part.
Oh yeah, that draft was amazing.
Yeah, it was. It was a crazy draft.
Yeah, and then I think the next year after that, it was even crazier. It was 2062. It was that year that we have six guys going the first six picks, and all of
Hmm.
them were amazing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was my first
Yep.
ever draft
Yep.
in multiplayer.
Micah, Rusty, Spoon, Hammerdick, Miles
Yeah,
Rose, and Horace McBriar. Like every single pick there is literally a franchise quarterback. It
Exactly.
absolutely insane.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That was my first ever draft in FOF multiplayer, and I was like, oh, is it like this every year? That's gonna be great.
We
And then the first three
can we
receivers
please
were
have
all
that every
franchise
year?
receivers.
Hey, Ryan.
Hi guys.
Yeah, and
Hey,
as
Rylan.
you as you say, yeah, first three receivers are all absolute legends as well.
Oh yeah. Oh
By the
yeah.
way, just want to throw a quick shout out. We have a new league leader in yards after catch
All time.
all time.
Okay, who is that?
Ricky Carnation.
Oh,
Little
So
it's
bit of
your
a
let's
guy.
Madison shout out. Little bit of a
records.
Madison shout out.
Yeah.
Set the all time record.
So what's that? Career records? Is that where I'm going to find that?
Yep. Yep.
I think yearbook
Well,
career stats maybe.
or you could go with where's yeah, go
Yeah.
there.
Let's have a look. Wide receivers, receiving. Yak. Yeah, there he is, Ricky Carnation.
Yep. Hopefully goes for another year after this.
Yeah. Pretty sure, I guess he will, right? I mean,
Once again, another pick that I looked into. So if you take a look at that draft, he was my
2059.
number one wide receiver. You could have just clicked the draft part.
Yeah. 2059. There he is, number 7.
Mm-hmm. So
Had you
Wendell
guys
Westbrook
before.
was absolutely amazing, by the way. Like, he
Mhm.
retired way too early.
Yeah, I remember him.
Nick Herndon was still good, but Ricky Carnation was my. So I didn't think I was going to get Wendell Westbrook because I thought he was like literally the top prospect that year.
Mm.
But Ricky Carnation was my number 2.
Yeah, well, congrats. Nice record.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, if only I could win a bowl.
The ultimate stat.
Yes, the ultimate stat that I have too many people blocking me.
Yeah. That's the problem in the NFC. That's the problem. A certain team.
I know, and I know 2 of them. Like, it's Joe and Rylan every
Yeah.
year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's
I
give
think
San
it's been.
Antonio, some other teams, some credit too.
San Antonio, yeah, San
Yeah.
Antonio is fucking great. Like,
Yeah. He beat me in the ball 2 seasons
don't get me
ago.
wrong, he just beat my ass this week. So
Oh, did he?
yeah, he did.
Yeah, I got a soft spot for Georgia as well. They're a bit of a bogey team for me, and they got their roster is very solid and
It is.
solid game plan as well. Yeah, I don't think I fear them quite as much as Vancouver, but nevertheless, another very good team on that side of the league
Absolutely.
as well. Yeah,
Oh yeah. He
Yeah.
beat me last week too. So
yeah, I saw that. Yeah, it was. We actually had a real dice roll game yesterday where I literally lost last play of the game. He got a kickoff return touchdown to
What?
take
On
the
the
win.
last play of the game?
Last play of the game. Yeah, I scored to I think take the lead, and then I kicked off and he returned it for a touchdown game end.
Oh my god.
Yeah, yeah. So
All right. So I heard we're going to talk about this last draft, which was not good for most people.
if you drafted below the middle of the first round and you're not an AI, it sucked.
Did you see my draft, by the way?
I saw.
You didn't.
I
You were
did.
above the middle, right? He was saying
Yeah,
below the middle.
I might be like one of the top 5 draft class of this last year.
I know you got a Studley D end in the first round, and I think you
I-
probably speculated
got
on
it.
running back again at some point, right?
The running back was actually an auto pick. That was my one lucky pick.
Oh, that's where.
So I thought like I had a little bit more time to do the pick,
Yeah.
and I didn't. I was working at the time, and I'm like, oh, I got time, and that got auto drafted, and I actually benefited from the auto draft for once.
Hmm.
But pretty much like every pick that I made was like starter quality in this draft.
Yeah, now you're top of your division, so I think you were last time I checked.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I did lose. I did lose this week, but yeah, no, this was a really bad draft class, and I lucked out, and I can't like put anything behind it of like why I lucked out. I did.
Yeah, so I mean, I found it pretty difficult this year. I had the complication of every time my draft pick came up, it was like 4 a.m. for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I constantly had to set these really long lists because I had to put 10
Yep.
players in, right? And I think it can be a bit difficult when you're trying to put that many into in what order should I put these guys in? Who do I really want? And you have no idea who you're going to get, who's going to get picked. Of course, you know that at least half those guys are going to get picked because
Yeah.
they all look good in Draft Analyzer and stuff like this, right? So, and then a little bit of an extra complication maybe that there's quite a few AI picks, and the AI weights some positions, I think, a bit differently than human GMs, right? So, for example,
Yeah,
I
it
think
does.
you see a lot of defensive tackles going a bit earlier, maybe,
Yep.
than you might otherwise. That was one of the positions I would like to have drafted this year. So yeah, it was difficult. And then I also had a couple of auto picks that were garbage. And I don't know if you guys ever get this, but does your like pick sequence in Conscriptor sometimes get messed up? Because I ended up taking a guy in the second round who was bottom of my list, basically. I just basically put him in there to remind myself that I might want to have a look at him in the 6th round or something, and then suddenly when I checked my priority list, the order was completely scrambled.
Uh,
So-
I've never had it happen to me, but I've heard
Yeah,
other
I've-
people say it happens. I've heard
Yeah,
if you're logged in with multiple browsers or multiple devices, that can affect it. But I think
yeah, okay.
Yeah,
I log in
I
on
was
my
gonna say
phone
like
and my computer. I've never noticed it, but
Yeah, I've had that happen many times. Many times. Normally, I notice and correct it.
I've done it strictly like one browser when I'm dealing with, putting out my Q picks. So that I know like, hey, these are my Q picks, and it's gonna pick in this order. Or and it also depends on what setting you have in the draft analyzer. If it's just gonna go straight from your list, or is it gonna go like a little bit different from that? Because you also
Yeah.
have like the zero out pick. That's the other big thing. Like, so say you have like two DTs,
Yeah, sure. I
um,
use that
and you
sometimes,
take
but it's
one, like you don't want to zero out priority if you actually want to take that player.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now the thing I'm talking about is you basically maybe you move somebody to the top of the list, and when you reload the page, the complete order of the list is different than what it
Okay,
should be.
yeah.
Right? And that
That might be a browser thing. Like what browser are you using primarily
I
when
think it
you
depends. Brave or sometimes Firefox. I mean, yeah,
so
it's just one of those.
I've been going mostly Opera of late,
Mm.
and I've never had any issues of it like jumbling up my priority list.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'll just keep an eye out for that. Yeah, so we have we've been messing around quite a bit with getting the technical setup working on the meeting and waiting for people to be able to join and stuff like that. So we actually have 6 minutes left now on the first. So I'm going to be sending you guys another link in 5 minutes or whatever. But should we? I mean, should we take a look at the next guy on the list quickly?
Yeah, let's
Yeah,
go to the
sure.
next guy. Like we obviously know this guy was gonna be first overall.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. Shame he ended up in an AI team, but that's how
Yeah.
it goes. Yeah.
Is what it is.
Okay, so we got another AI pick as well. Tommy
Yep.
Fundinger, right tackle, big guy.
Well,
So
this guy
we-
is garbage.
Yeah, he dropped a bit. He looked better
Yeah, he
before
did.
the draft
He did
for
look,
sure.
Yep.
I
He
thought he was
looked
gonna be
going
better.
in, he was gonna be like an 80 or so, but yeah, dropped a little bit, and he's a right tackle, like
Yeah.
plus 24 years old.
Yeah.
Not a great pick.
No. For a 1.2, he is in my opinion, he's quite a bad player because
Yeah.
he's also not very smart. He's
Mhm.
clearly below average.
For
Yeah.
me, this is like a 110 to 115 pick, in my opinion.
Ro, do you
Yeah.
just think he's a flat out bad player?
Yeah, in my opinion, he is. I mean, of course, for a first rounder, for a second round guy, he's okay, I guess. I'm not
I mean,
an OL Saba or whatever, but I don't like him.
I don't know.
Okay.
I'd say this is still a first round pick and still a top 15 pick. It just at 1-2, this is a really bad value pick.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
Hmm
Yeah. Well, he's not a linebacker, so I'm not sure how he's going to fit in at McAllen, but maybe that's where he'll end up playing, perhaps.
Very true.
Yeah. Okay, but I mean AI pick, so blah blah blah.
Yep.
Let's just skip on.
Let's get on to what should have been the second pick of the draft.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean Norfolk, right pick, right?
Yeah,
Absolute
absolutely
no-brainer.
crushed it. Crushed it.
Yeah. This guy's amazing.
Did any of you guys think he was going to come out rated higher than this?
I did. Yes, I did. I thought he was going to be about 75. And I think like things that hurt him a little bit is that route running is under 80, which kind of sucks. But like he's still going to be a first target in your offense. But I thought his route running was going to be a little bit higher. But still, he was clearly the second best player in the draft.
Yeah, so he didn't really change significantly, I don't think.
No.
I think he looks amazing. Would love
yeah.
to have that guy on my roster for sure.
Yep,
Hmm.
me too.
Yeah, okay. Good stuff, Norfolk.
I mean, I take him as a wide receiver 3.
I'd,
That's just because of my roster, but I take him.
I'd let him take a little bit of yards after catch, maybe every now and again.
Yeah, you know,
Yeah.
that's what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. Nice. Nice pick. He's got super high bench. He's just elite combines, basically, I think, right?
Hmm.
So all the signs were there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
those combines are insane.
Yeah. Okay, let's take let's maybe take one more before we switch over to
Yes.
to the new call.
So
It's another AI pick, so we can just be
one of the 2
fairly
picks
quick.
I got right in my mock draft.
Okay,
One of the 2.
congratulations. I think Ryland, you aced? Did you ace that mock draft this year? You had quite a
Yeah,
few, right? Didn't you?
I think he had 6.
Wow,
It's
Right?
the
that's
most right
amazing.
in a while.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
that's pretty damn good. I think I would be happy to
Yep.
get one or two, QB aside.
Um, this is not what I would take at 1-4. I think he's still a top 10 pick, but there could have been a little bit better value, especially with like the draft class. Like a defensive tackle is just not an impact player, or even if you're doing a nose tackle, still not an impact player, in my opinion. But it's an auto draft, so
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think this guy's a defensive end too.
He is.
yeah,
It's a 3-4
absolutely
Yeah.
D.
is. It's
yeah,
a 3-4 D end, or like this is a 4-3 defensive tackle, which if you're playing a 4-3, you should not take a defensive tackle in the top like 6.
Well,
Yeah.
I think
Probably
London's
not.
a 3-4 team, so they just maybe didn't change his position.
Yeah.
Well,
He's actually an end.
wasn't this an AI pick though?
It was, yeah.
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 He
Okay.
dropped around 10 points as well. I think his run
He
defense
did.
fell off quite a bit, so that's his
Yes, it did.
agility
Yes, it
trail,
did.
right?
He
What
looked like he
else?
was going to be near max or close to like top 25 for
Yeah,
rating,
yeah,
and he dropped.
yeah. Let's park it there, guys, because we're just about to run out of time. I'm gonna send you a new
Yes.
link, and yeah, we'll take it from there. Just a second.
Thanks for facilitating all that.
No problem. Anything more to say about Mr. Banks before we start getting into, I think, a few more human picks?
No. Unfortunately, we had a few AIs at the start.
Yeah, yeah. 5'11". Any issues with that?
For a defensive tackle, no.
For a defensive end, I would say yes.
Right.
For a defensive end, absolutely. Especially in the 3-4. Like you want him to be like 6'3" at the lowest.
I think we had a little bit of a talk about a short defensive end on the last call as well.
Like
Actually.
it can work. Like you really have to make sure like the bars are gonna translate, because I've definitely done it where I have like 6 foot 3-4 deep ends, but the bars have to like really be good.
Yeah.
And his bars are not good enough to justify being a short D end in the
No.
3-4.
No, I don't think so either. I don't think this guy's a good value pick at this position
No.
in the draft.
But it was an auto draft, so you
Yep.
know. Join our league.
Los
Sorry.
Angeles.
This was my darling pick of this draft.
Okay.
I love this corner.
Okay. Why? What do you like about him?
So he's got top tier bump and run. He's like his interception, it could be better, but it's not terrible. Every other coverage bar is great. He's also got run D. Like,
Yeah.
he has everything that you want in a corner. It's not maybe the best, but I felt like he was like the highest floor corner, in my opinion. And he's also young at 22. We have a couple other corners that are going to come up who are a little older.
Mm-hmm.
So I really like this pick. I really like this prospect.
What about you, Road? How do you see this guy?
I'll jump
O'Reilly?
in while we
Sure.
wait for Road because I can't hear
Yeah.
him.
No, I can't either.
I have this guy significantly lower than the next corner, Gerhardt.
No. Can
Hey,
you hear me
Road.
now?
Yeah, we got
But
you, mate.
Gerhardt is dumb.
Well, let's get Gerhard up. Let's compare the two guys that went
Yes.
side by side here.
So I Gerhardt was one where I'm like, I love his bars. I love everything that he's gonna have. I don't like that intelligence at all.
I don't like the intelligence. You can't like the intelligence, but he's got interception and he's the right size.
Yeah. Yeah. How about you? How about you, Road? I mean, your game plan is all about destroying these guys. So which one would you like to face the most?
Um, I think I would prefer to face Gerhard. I think I
Is it
like Gerhard
intelligence?
better. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly,
Yep.
exactly. If it was my team for one of my teams, I would prefer Gerhard, but he's dumb and he's not great in coverage in any of those bars except for zone. So
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
hmm
He's deceptively low in bump and run. In fact, I'm just looking.
yeah,
I'm looking. There's so
Yep.
much red on there, but actually, there's not
Yep.
as much as you think. Maybe.
no,
Mhm.
and I use bump and run more than man to man. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think I prefer to face Gerhard, but Gerhard is bigger, which I prefer also
Yeah. Me too.
because O'Donnell is a little bit short. It's quite short actually.
Yeah.
I know Ryland has a safety in this league
Yeah.
who is
He's a
like,
midget.
yeah, exactly, and that
Yeah.
guy played very well regardless.
Yeah.
Yes, he does. Yeah.
But yeah, I feel safer having taller cornerbacks or defensive backs in general than this guy.
Yeah.
But
So so
these two
so my
guys are top 10 picks, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We had I almost want to say we had 4 defensive backs that should have been top 10 picks in this draft. Um we have another one coming up soon, which is Farms, who's a little bit older, but he might have been like the safest pick
Oh
between the
yeah.
three of them.
Went to Pittsburgh. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. He looks good too.
Yep.
Let's maybe pop him up as well.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
So
but
he goes 2 picks
that,
later.
Yep.
that
They're
guy is
all
stupid.
He is
what
very
a
stupid.
Yeah, and he's
oh my
terrifying,
god,
too.
yeah.
And,
He's
and
even
here's the
dumber than
thing, like
Gerhard.
he did not look like he was going to be stupid in the draft analyzer, but that's what he turned out to be.
Yeah. Yeah. Can you remember which color he was,
Yeah,
Tuson?
I
Or
think
Rose?
he
Yeah.
was red or
he's
pink or
Aquarius.
whatever.
He's Aquarius, which is the dumbest. I think it is the dumbest sign.
Right.
But his soul seismic wasn't that bad.
No, it wasn't.
It
Okay, so
wasn't that
that's how he's got a 96 play diagnosis out of Solar Sismic
Yep.
23.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Wow. And I say
So it was
my
basically
scout sees these
all into
guys
play
as
diagnosis.
yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
But
That's
he
it.
also has 96 out of 100 interceptions.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah,
so
which
so
is
where I look at this is like Billy O'Donnell, he's kind of your safe floor, he's going to be good. You have Spencer Gerhardt, who's a little bit more dumb, better interceptions, but that bump and run is a little bit lower. And then you have Robert Farms, who is probably your highest risk, highest reward player of the 3 of them.
yeah, they're
Yeah.
an interesting trio, aren't they? Yeah. Because
hmm
Gerhard's got the size to go outside.
Yep.
Go
I'll
ahead,
say for
Rylan.
Farms, he comes in like 88% developed right now. Like ready
Yeah,
to go.
25 years
Yes.
old, almost fully developed. Wow, yeah. 88%. Amazing.
And I think on the draft analyzer, he was showing like 50 to 60% developed, somewhere in there. So he bumped quite a bit up on that
Yeah,
developed
he was
percentage.
67 in draft analysis.
Yeah.
Also, I'm looking at him compared to Gerhardt, and it looks like Gerhardt should end up higher than a 73 or Farms lower than a 73. If you compare 78% developed to 88% developed, is turned into only one overall.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So I think this comes back to that thing we talked about with wide receivers last time, which is that if the bars are weighted differently, then those numbers can still make sense.
Oh, you got me on that last year, and I haven't learned still.
Yeah, yeah. So for example, I think you will see that these guys are all that when you look at cornerbacks in general, the run defense bar counts quite a lot towards the overall rating, which I find to be a little bit, well, I'm not sure if that's telling us something or whether that's a little bit misleading, because I would take a corner with low run defense without all other things being equal. If they had interceptions and coverage bars, then I wouldn't worry too much about
That's
run
Farms.
defense.
That's Farms. That's
I,
Farms here. He's got
I
the
would go
lowest
with,
unit
yeah.
run D, highest interception.
I'm also gonna go with like if run D is like a big bar for corners, that's very misleading because that's not really what you're expecting them to have to be good at.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think it
Actually,
does.
Gerhard would make a very good strong safety, but I mean, I wouldn't
Oh,
draft
yes.
a strong safety 1.6.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think I would. I haven't, but I actually think I might do that. I think that I've seen other
No,
teams with a strong safety that played phenomenally well, and so far as I can
Yeah,
tell, that strong safety is the standout
So
player in their secondary.
yeah, I was gonna say like it for me, like when I look at, the defensive positions and where I kind of rank them, like you have your DNs, your edge rushers, you have your middle linebacker, and you have your strong safety, which I think are kind of on the same tier. So I'd put like DNs 1 and 2, and then strong safety and middle linebacker are your 3 and 4, however you want to rank it. And that I feel is like the four most important positions on a defense
yeah,
in this game.
yeah. I agree.
Interesting. I've been up prioritizing cornerbacks in other leagues, outside cornerbacks.
I mean,
Given
outside
the-
quarterbacks are great, but you can have a strong safety who's like a 70 who will just cover up for all the deficiencies that your defense has.
Mhm.
So I really feel like cornerbacks are great, and your outside cornerbacks may be 5 and 6, but I still feel like strong safety is in your top 4 for your positional like importance on defense.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I would guess that depending on how much you sort of split between cover one or one deep and two deep type defensive formations, that probably changes the thinking around the strong safety quite a bit, at least as I would see it. So, if you play, because he's the one that changes his position probably the most of any of those guys on the back end, right?
Yeah,
Between short and
Mhm.
deep.
Yep.
Yeah, but I mean, I like all these guys. I think with O'Donnell
Yeah.
there was a bit of a tell, wasn't there, with the position drill that his
Mm-hmm.
interceptions did go down a bit. So his combine, basically the combines were telling you the truth there.
Yep.
Yeah, but I mean, I would have been happy to get any of these
I
into
mean,
the top 10. I think.
out of all three, I believe Gerhardt had the best combine.
Yeah. Yeah.
But still, like all three of them are worthy of top 10 picks, especially in this draft class.
Yeah.
yeah.
Any disagreement, Rylan?
No.
No. Okay. Good picks, guys. Who else did we have in the top 10 then?
I think we're on to me.
You skipped
Yeah, we
over
got
7 there.
Yeah, so we got you at seven, Tuson. Now, before you get to luxuriating, telling us all about the beastly defensive ends that you found, what happened to your team last season? Why are you picking up 1-7?
Um, some bad luck at the
Okay.
start. Some bad luck at the start, and me realizing that I was not gonna be able to overcome that, especially, in the NC where I have some other teams who dominate me. And so I'm like, you want to know what? Like, I'm not gonna purposely try to suck, but I'm also gonna phone it in and try and get a top 10 pick,
Okay.
which I happen to do.
Honest.
And then I, happened to get the top 4-3 end in the draft, um, which was great because I lost, my last absolutely phenomenal 4-3 end in Hayden Stuvanes. So
Right.
yeah, uh, like I said, I prioritize those DNs, and this was an absolute perfect pick. In fact, so Chris, who is Las Vegas, and then Rylan, both already before any sort of mock draft, they both saw this prospect and they're like, "So you're taking him, right?"
Yeah.
Well, probably.
Yeah.
If he's there, I will take him.
Yeah.
So yeah, they before we did any sort of mock draft, this was already mocked to me for those two. And yeah, he's an absolute beast as a 4-3 DN prospect.
Yeah, he's hot for sure. How's he started?
He's
Yeah, slowly-ish.
slowly.
Yeah.
But that's all right. He can come into his own next season. He'll probably get like 5 or 6 sacks this season, and I'm hoping for double digits next
Yeah.
season.
Yeah.
For the next decade.
Exactly. He's
Well,
a 10
I
10-year
love for the
player.
next decade, but yeah, he's a 10-year player. Like this was great pick. Can't complain.
No, most definitely not. And he'll be 100% developed by next year as well if you're
Yep,
starting him.
that is the hope. But yes, he will be starting every game. He will be getting the primary snaps at right defensive end for every game. So
Yeah. And he's going to be expensive when you have to re-sign him, but that's a little way off.
that's all right. I will pay that price.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
This might be my third 100 sack player that I've had. So far, I think I've had 2. So I had
Yeah.
Philip Sewell, which was a 3-4. And then I had Hayden Stuvanes, which was quite possibly the best defensive end that this league has seen. Who retired way too early. Could have been for 2 more seasons.
Yeah.
And then this guy. So
Yep. Let's maybe take a quick look. He just held steady basically. Yeah.
no, and I interviewed him. He looked perfect, pretty much.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
And if you somehow ever end up in a 3-4, he can do that too.
yes, he can.
Yeah, weak
He
side
could definitely
linebacker.
play. Yep, exactly. Blitzing weak side linebacker right here.
Any thoughts on this guy, Road?
Oh, he's amazing.
Yeah.
But he's a linebacker conversion, right?
Yes, he was a linebacker, but converted to 4-3
Yeah.
end.
Did he gain any weight, Tucson?
A little bit.
A little. Okay.
Yeah, I think it was like 255 or something like that.
He didn't change weight.
I
He was
think no.
He
was
didn't. He didn't.
268.
No. Oh, okay. Never mind. I did not
He
have him
just showed
change weight.
up in the right size.
Yeah. Yeah. Perfect 2-system edge player.
Yep.
Yeah,
Really nice.
he does everything. I mean, he can contribute in the running game. He's a great. He's a. I wouldn't say a great pass rusher, but he's a 10 plus sacks a year, I think.
Yeah.
Once he's
Yeah.
developed.
Absolutely. He should be a double-digit sack player starting next year.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
because he has the endurance to back it up. I mean,
Yep.
he can stay. He can play a lot of downs.
Hmm.
Yeah. 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 That bench press, that's more like in the linebacker range, right? 20.
Yep.
And he's got these
Yeah.
big coverage bars that the pure DNs don't tend to come out with as well, I think.
That's all
Let's
right.
have a look.
I'd
And
rather
he's super
I'd rather
smart as
have
well. Yeah.
I would rather have wasted coverage bars for an edge rusher than have, wasted pass rushing bars for an outside linebacker in a 3-4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very nice. Let's have a look. Next on the list here, then I think is another AI pick. Was it Kansas? I think
No,
so, right? No?
no, no, no,
No.
no, no.
Or
No,
It
no.
is
is
Jason.
it is Jacek?
This was a
Jacek took over.
surprising pick.
Yeah.
This was a surprising pick. Like I like this prospect. I just thought he was going to go probably about 6 or 7 picks later than this. I do like his age, and he does look like a good prospect. I just, once again, you're really kind of hurting yourself, in my opinion, if you're picking a defensive tackle or a nose tackle in the top 10.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah.
Because
thing is, if you
it's just
wanna if you want a guy like this, you've got to take him early, right? Because they won't fall that far, especially not when
yeah,
there's AIs drafting as well. But in this case, so you can't have one of these unless you get very lucky lower down the boards, I don't think.
yeah. But the where I come in is like, how much of an impact is he going to have on your defense? Like I've actually taken and I lucked out with Irv Castile, which I think was like a 110 or 111 pick as a nose tackle in the 3-4, who was a phenomenal nose tackle, but at the same time, he only got like 60 sacks in his career. How much
Yeah,
of an impact does that make?
so the question I think is a little bit: do defensive tackles do more than what you can see in the stats? Do you know what I mean? Right. So do they kind of,
That is
does
a
a
good
good
question.
defensive tackle raise all the performance of all the other guys on the defensive line? And there's
And
no
that
way
is a
to
great
know, I
question.
don't think.
Yeah. Like I don't think you can narrow it down from year to year and say like, oh yeah, these defensive tackles who are great are
Yeah.
impacting the other
I mean,
players.
you
So
won't see it in sex, that's for sure, right? But
yeah,
that's. I remember Rylan telling me that's a messy metric. Don't track it too hard, right? There's
yes,
other
yeah.
things that are worth more, and I think that's right,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
especially
absolutely.
for tackles. Yeah,
And for me, that's why it kind of devalues the position. The other thing is I think like you can get a good like 50 to 60 overall defensive tackle in the fourth or fifth round and do it pretty consistently.
yeah,
So it's like, how much is really having that extra little bit going to help from an interior perspective when he's not getting the pass rush percentage, when he's not making those tackles, when he's only getting like 40 tackles a year, and that's actually a pretty good year for a defensive tackle.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I know what you're
I've
saying.
got a confusing stance on this because I wouldn't love taking a defensive tackle at 1.9, but in the TFL, I've got two defensive tackles that are 80 rated. So I obviously value it some,
Yeah,
but
But is this an 80 rated defensive tackle?
no, it's not.
Mm-hmm.
this is a 70 rated defensive tackle. That's how I see him.
What are the league scouts?
Sorry.
I think it's lower.
Yeah, the same,
Yeah,
70.
about the same. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, for example, like let's look at the next pick. Do you think Caleb Bullock is going to be more of an impact than Roger Hurd,
I
the
Okay.
wide receiver?
unanimously agree. No,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but the context is a good point too, so because outside of Hurd, I'm not sure that there was much else that is hugely better than Caleb Bullock on the board. Hurd, yes. How's KC for wide receivers.
I'll say this for taking a defensive tackle here. I like.
They got some
I
good
think.
ones.
I think you can see what you're getting with Caleb Bullock, whereas some other players, some other positions might be more of a gamble. I think you can be pretty certain that you're getting a 10-year
Yeah.
player in Caleb Bullock when you
Yeah.
take him.
And,
Yeah.
and like I'm definitely not trying to like shit on the pick or anything. I just think there was more value to be gained in the draft, if you went somewhere else, especially when you're taking the second best defensive tackle.
He's a top 20 pick though, Bullock, isn't he?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. So it's
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have him going 17.
yeah. Yeah, so it's not too far off. And
No.
if there was a little bit of a tiny bit of need or something like that, then I think it's fine.
So quickly, let's take a look at Kansas City's wide receivers just to finish
Yeah,
that.
so they got a few guys that are around 60-ish, I think. Hampton, Borders, Phil Chart.
So they have two that are around 30, and then they have a guy who's a little younger, who's like a 52.
Yeah, I mean, it makes it look like wide receiver is definitely not a need.
No,
No.
that is true.
And they're not, I mean, around 30, the oldest one's is 27, right? I mean, they got five years in them, probably. I think this is, yeah, Hampton's a bit low on the route running, of course, but he's dangerous otherwise.
Yeah, he's definitely like a big play guy, and punt returns is phenomenal.
Yeah, let's have a quick look at the defensive front. So maybe there was just a little bit of a kind of need pick here as well. Yeah, I mean, we don't know who got cut, but
Yeah.
that's
So
a
they have
place
the
that can
defensive
be.
ends, but they didn't have defensive tackles, so makes sense.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty nice defensive front coming together there, isn't it? I mean, it's
It
really
is, yeah.
nice. In fact, really nice.
Yeah, he's got
Yeah.
three out of the four plus Wayne Ivy. It's a good defensive line.
Yep. Good stuff. Okay, so Kansas defense one to keep an eye on. Okay, let's get Hurd up. So Boston went wide receiver last year as well. Maybe was slightly disappointed with Montgomery. He's actually pretty good, right? But he's not amazing.
He's not amazing. The getting downfield kind of hurts a little bit, but
Yeah, I think that dropped off.
he's still a nice like offsetting double coverage target. And then Roger Hurd is going to be probably wide receiver one.
Yeah, it's
They look
really
like good complements to each other.
Yeah.
They do, and yeah, Hurd is a really big guy, right?
Yes,
He's
that
got
size intrigued me too. And Riley can
216.
tell you, I'm like 6'4", 216. I'm like, oh my God, can I
Yeah.
have this wide receiver?
Getting hot
Well, you
under the
could've.
collar.
I
Yeah,
could
you
have,
could've.
but I took my DN. I have no regrets. But that size really intrigued me as like, how good could he be with that size and his bars?
Well, he's starting off pretty hot. 20 of 24 attempts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
He's averaging like well over 10 yards a target.
And
Like,
Boston's had a really good start to the season too.
yeah, they've been putting up points. He's 100 yards a game, basically.
Mm-hmm.
You still with us, Roach? What's your? I mean, this guy's got to be right up your street, isn't he?
Yeah, I'm making coffee. There is an annoying noise
Sure
on
thing.
my end, so I don't want to.
I can mute
I
myself.
just
That's
I
only my
just
voice.
yeah, but yeah, I will kill for this guy.
Yeah.
I love Roger Hurd. This was kind of my fallback pick if every other player that I wanted was taken. Like I was gonna pick this guy at 1-7 if I had to, or sorry, 1.
1-7, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
1-7.
now you've seen, let's say, the first year, the way the bars are shaking out. Are you still happy that you took a defensive end at 1-7 instead of this guy? I mean,
Absolutely. I did not need another wide receiver. Like if you look at my wide receiver core, I'm
oh,
fine.
okay, get you.
But at the same time, I I was really intrigued by this prospect, and I wasn't going to be like, oh hey, I already have 3 good wide receivers. Let me not take another wide receiver type of position.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Oh, of course,
Would
yeah,
have
we were
taken
talking
him.
about.
Yes, would have taken him if everybody else off my board was gone, but they weren't. So,
Yeah.
but this is a great prospect. I love this guy.
Yeah, so is Howie building a passing team in Boston now then?
Hmm.
Looks like that could be the case. Yeah. Really nice. Um, who's next?
And now we start
Darnell
getting
Hill.
to the to
Now
where the draft drops off.
this is another AI pick, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think
So
so.
Yep.
again, third DT that goes because they're kind of a bit over prioritized maybe. So it's 3 DTs in the top 11. This guy's like, I wouldn't like to have to try and, move him aside if he was blocking my path. Let's put it like that.
I mean, this is a great DT. But he fits better as a nose tackle with his size.
Yeah.
But still, like, this is a fine pick.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
maybe not at 11. Maybe like a few more picks down low.
Yeah. Only for a 3-4 for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Got the 10 minutes warning. So Zoom is telling us that we're going slow. Okay, Colorado takes defensive player again, somewhere in the region of 112. Looks like another amazing guy added to their roster. I mean, they're so deep
Oh,
with talent now in Colorado, it's ridiculous.
go to the league scout because this guy hurts.
Oh,
Actually.
did this guy drop off? I mean,
Yep.
he did.
Yep. This was the other guy who I thought was like your best defensive player in the draft, and he didn't
Okay.
bust as much as I thought he was going to, but yeah, he hurt.
Yeah,
He's
just
still
he
lost great, but
lost a little bit everywhere, basically. So
yeah,
yeah,
he's still a great pick, but
I
he
kind of
could have
think
been
he's still
better.
going to be better
If
than 62, though.
I'm hoping so.
Well, I mean, I'm not because I'm in that division, but look at
I know
looking
you're
yeah,
at his
not,
bars and his
he can
developed
suck inside. In fact.
percentages.
but fuck you. So I hope he's better. If I can't beat you, hopefully somebody else will.
I I don't know. I think he looks pretty nice. I think I would be fine, even though he dropped off a little bit. I would probably be fine with this guy at 112.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just initially like after his draft analyzer and interviews, he looked like he was going to be like a top 2 defensive player of the draft, and he wasn't.
Okay. Next. No, this guy dropped, I think. Yes.
A lot.
It lost a lot of run blocking. And yeah, which run blocking? That's his 40 time, right? So it's just over 5 seconds.
I
You have
mean,
to watch the pass blocking too, right?
Yeah, by bits, yeah, 20 points in both, basically.
yep.
He lost a little bit of blocking strength as well, so I'm not sure if that counts as one of those.
This is really weird because like you would expect to see a little more of a drop from the static if it's like a volatility or static nerf. But like that didn't happen. His blocking bars just dropped, and it didn't quite match up to what his combine showed.
Yeah, this is a shame for Colombia. This one is, I mean, I think most of us agree that blocking strength is probably the least useful overall. I'm not saying you want it to be super low or anything, but sort of by itself, does that do much?
And it might be stopping those defensive tackles. We don't know how they work.
That is true. But
I mean-
like when you look at it from what we saw versus what we're seeing now, like this didn't seem like a bad pick at the time.
I was hoping this guy lasted a few more picks to me.
I know you did. But yeah,
he looks like he could
looked,
have 90 run block, on the maybe, right?
Yeah.
So this has come out very, very disappointingly in those terms.
I mean, it's
I'd
still
go
not
as
like
far to say unfairly.
yeah. And I mean, even as he is, like he's still, a starting level guard, but it's not what you're looking for at 13, and it kind of sucks. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, Columbia.
Yeah. I think you're right. He could become a starting level player for sure. And because he's come out a bit lower than expected, maybe his re-signing demands won't be that excessive, even though he's drafted in the first round. I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, we'll find out in 4 years.
I know he's going to start 70 games or whatever by then. We'll see.
Yeah, he's already missed 2 starts.
Yeah, I was thinking, that
Was he
he's
injured?
not going to be asking for top 5 guard money, probably, right? He's
No.
more likely to be asking for top 20 or something, or top 30.
Yeah.
Can you check real quickly if he was injured for the last couple of games?
He wasn't. He probably
Okay.
has a more developed guard that is playing, I guess, right?
That's fair. That's absolutely fair.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just noticing like he's missed 2 starts for a season. So
yeah, so maybe just while we're on the sort of tackle of on the topic of offensive linemen, how do you guys feel about getting them starts? Because I think they don't really develop unless even if you have a mentor, they seem to me they develop quite slowly compared to some other positions. So you need to get them starts somehow, right? But
yes,
that's not always easy with cohesion, and especially if they're under 50% or maybe even under 30% developed. How do you look at that?
For me, I look to get like if I need to develop them, I want to get them 6 to 8 starts in a season. May not always be the best, course of action, but I kind of like they definitely do need starts in order to develop at a faster rate. So
But that does mean weakening yourself for potential long-term
Very
upside,
true.
right?
very true. That is why when you start like 0-4, 1-4 or something like that, that's when you start throwing some starts to the guys that you need to develop on the offensive line.
For sure. For sure.
I don't want to start a rookie offensive lineman ever.
Okay,
Zero starts for their first year. I don't want to play them their second year even.
Well, yeah, because you want to be able to get a good second contract every time.
I just don't want to play rookies ever. So that applies to offensive linemen. They can sit for 2 years and develop as far as they develop, and then start in year 3.
So how did you handle Pokemon Trainer?
Well, he was like an 80 future or something. I bet he probably sat first year.
Mm-hmm.
That's off the top of my head. Let me see if I can find it.
That'd be my guess. That'd be my guess too.
Pretty sure you were starting a rookie left tackle last season, but I take your point. Yeah, but I mean, of course, you're right, Tuson. If you have a bit of if you don't start too hot, then it's perfect for getting starts into people that need to be developed. But it's a tricky problem for teams which are in win now mode, right? That's
win now or competing.
very difficult to develop younger offensive line talent.
And honestly, like the worst situation to be in is where you can get a playoff spot, but you also have like a lot of good prospects on the offensive line
Yeah.
because you want to get them starts, but at the same time, getting them starts is probably going to negatively impact your position, in the league.
Yeah, but you have to go for the playoffs, don't you?
I mean,
I would at least.
it depends because for example, say like you have a team where you think, oh, I'm going to be, I can get to the wild card and then I'm just going to lose. In my opinion, at that point, you might as well get the starts on the offensive line and, punt to the next year.
I can see the argument for sure. We're into the last minute, so we're gonna park it with Christian Lutz, and we're gonna do one. I'll set up one more call, and
Hopefully
let's
go
try.
faster.
Let's try to get to the end. I'll talk to you guys in a second.
He just played one game. He played one game and he surrendered a sack in just one.
Yeah.
And he started him the first game,
Okay.
in week 1, and then he was out the next 2. So I don't think he likes him.
No. Gave him one chance.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Columbia's a division rival for you, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So you're happy with this one?
Yeah. And I saw this guy. His run blocking bar was maxed out. So I think it is a disappointing pick for him, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Okay, his agility is just kind of average, right? That shows in the pass blocking. He never looks like he was going to be anything special there. But I think, yeah, I didn't see his run bar potentially max, but I saw it definitely looked like it was going to be 80 plus for sure.
Yeah.
So it's a nasty one without much, yeah, not a lot of reason to think that he might come out like this.
No.
Yeah, this one just hurts.
Yeah. Because this guy is a black hole in the passing game. He's so easy to pressure for defensive players. So I don't know. If I was a running team, for a passing team, this guy worth nothing.
Yep.
But for a running team, this guy's a giant hole in the center.
So here's a question. Running team, like, do you try and move this guy to right tackle? He's got the size for it.
If he's a bad pass blocker as a guard, you don't want him playing.
No.
I don't know. I think this guy's a little bit of a wasted pick.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, but he is.
Yeah. And it's the start of a trend that we're gonna see.
Yes.
As we come down the board with a couple of exceptions.
May Lord have mercy on these next picks.
Yeah. So next guy up. Okay. So this is cornerback 4. It's Smellman in Alaska. Let's have a look. Did he drop? He did.
Yes, he did.
Did drop. Oh, he dropped his bump a lot.
Yes,
his interceptions stayed up there. Yeah. So
yes, this looked like a good cornerback coming into the draft, and he's got high interceptions.
He does have high interceptions. His size is all right.
That's all you can look forward to.
Yeah. He's very smart, so okay.
Yeah, I like this. I'm not sure if he's worth of a first round pick, but he's a good player. I don't mind these kind of players.
No,
Ryan
he's good. Yeah. I agree with you. I mean, for me, he's 114. You're a bit disappointed, but he's going to start. No issue.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean he's better than a 55 overall rated player, in my opinion.
Yeah.
He has his run defense. He's can contribute in the running game. He's good at interceptions. His coverage bars are not great, but they're decent, I guess.
Yeah.
And I'm not a big believer in coverage bars, to be honest.
The
So
one
what do
thing
you
that you can maybe hang your head on here is the development percentage versus what his overall bars are at right now. You can maybe hope that he gets a little bit better.
Yeah, he could
I find
for sure.
I find it odd that the interception bar looks maxed out. That doesn't seem right for a rookie to me. So I think that might go up.
Yeah.
Okay, that's one to keep an eye on for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Road, I got to pick up then. If you don't believe in coverage bars that much, what do you believe in then for cornerbacks?
No, look, I think that this is just a feeling, but I think cohesion matters a lot
Mm,
for defensive backs. A lot, and you can see that in the new league, in the
yeah, the V3 or whatever.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And you can see that the passing numbers are through the roof. And actually I have a great secondary there, and basically no one is performing. And the guys who are performing the best, they're not the best players in the group at all. So, and in the IFL, my secondary is not great, but it does a decent job. So
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I'm not
Yeah.
sure if coverage bars are that important.
The other thing is like I would take decent coverage bars and a near max interception over great coverage bars and no interception.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. Last year, I actually had the #1 defense by points allowed in the IFL, and if you look at my corners, 46, 47, 44, 37, 58 is my best player, who's a strong safety. So this, but what they do have is 9 years, 8 years, 11 years, right? And that's on the team as well. So that our cohesion is pretty high, and that definitely speaks to what you're saying, Rose. And the best thing I did last year was re-sign my 2 safeties to longer deals, even though they're both 30 years old, because that kept the cohesion high back there. Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, you and me, we have a 94 cohesion in that group, so that kind of checks out.
Yeah, right. And these cornerback bar profiles, mine guys are pretty similar. It's a lot that look like this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Enough 60 kind of as the high end. Yeah.
Yeah, flat barish guys, but
yeah,
not.
yeah.
I mean, my guys look pretty similar, to be honest.
Yeah, and individually, they're not playing super well in like pass defense percentage or anything like that, but as a unit, they work.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, let's have who's next? So running back to Montreal. He's got a lot of bars. Montreal got their quarterback last year, and what we see is that they instantly now are drafting in the middle of the rounds instead of in the top 5. So something went right for them last season.
But this guy is playing awful. Look at that.
This guy has run 44 yards on 50 attempts. Okay, he's a rookie.
What hurt for this guy is that like he looked like he was max hull wreck, max elusiveness, and the elusiveness bar 1.
Yeah.
Which like you can still do great with that, but you prefer the other way around. But I still think this is a good running back. He needs to figure out like where he needs to run behind more than anything.
So he's got a young offensive line, no super premium talents on there. I assume the cohesion is pretty low. Yeah. Probably only the center is carrying any, really. So he's not running behind a great line.
Hmm.
He's a rookie. And this elusiveness and speed to outside bars that I know people kind of, especially elusiveness, people don't like. I don't know. I think I would prefer to think that you can make this bar work, but you can't make it work if you're just going I formation, run behind the center. It's not.
No,
That's
you
not
have
what you
to
want.
like you have to be running this guy on like reverses right now if you want him to do like really well.
Well, I don't know if what does I don't know what does he need to do, but he certainly needs to change something because this guy is not even running for a yard per carry.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, he needs that offensive line probably needs to play together more. I guess that's at least part of it, or I'm sure is part of it. Whether there's
Yeah.
something on the game plan side as well, I would suspect that is also probably the case, right? So I mean, there's no reason why this guy shouldn't be able to run outside the tackles as well, right? He's very high
Hmm.
speed to outside. His whole recognition is pretty good.
He's got
But to
power
be honest,
inside. He can do everything.
yeah.
Yeah.
But to be honest, on top of low cohesion, his offensive line, no one, he has no one over 50, I think, in run blocking. So
Oh, that's
In run blocking,
really gonna
right?
hurt. That's really gonna hurt too.
45. This guy's playing left tackle, left guard, 14. 32. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Good luck.
that makes sense.
Good luck, Dresselhouse.
My like I said, I'd be running it like if he wants to be effective at all with this guy in this first year, run reverses.
yeah.
He's
I mean,
also 46% developed, which is pretty low for a running back.
yeah.
So,
It is.
give him a year or two to get some more run blockers in there, get him fully developed, and
But yeah, this is a great pick. This honestly is a great pick. It's just he's not utilizing him very well this first year.
Yeah, and on the plus side, he's nearly 10 yards a catch. That's decent. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, I think there's plenty of reason to be optimistic about Dresselhouse. I mean, yeah. Let's see where he gets to in a year or two.
Oh.
Rally.
Mm.
The tight ends that got no route running. Let's call him that.
We didn't have good tight ends this year.
No. But I've noticed something now, just looking around a bit, and I think he's trying to move to a more balanced game plan
Mm-hmm.
because he was going all pass for the last few seasons, and this season his quarterback he's thrown like 34 or 35 times a game.
Okay.
So this guy, I think he was maxed out in his run blocking bar was maxed out. So I think it was the reason because this guy is not. It was not a great route runner.
Mm-hmm. So my question for you at this point is, do you still think there's value there if, like, say this guy has max, blocking at this point? Do you still think the value is there at, literally top half or middle of the first round to take him with the ability that he's not going to be able to impact the passing game at all?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Like this guy was very intriguing with his bars, but he was not TE1 in my opinion.
No, probably not. But to be honest, we all know, of course, with the newspaper on hand, but we know the second half of the first round was not great.
Oh yeah. Just
Let me-
wait, it gets worse.
Yeah,
do
much
you
worse
guys-
than that guy, actually.
Do you,
Yeah.
do you guys think a right tackle impacts the pass game?
I mean, a little bit, but probably the least impactful position for the pass game.
Where are you going with this thought, Rylan?
I mean, he's going to be an excellent blocker, right? As we see, like how is your it depends on your your game plan and your offensive coordinator style, but like for me, like I'm gonna have my tight end blocking a lot. So having a good blocker will impact my pass.
Hmm.
That's fair. Like, are you saying if he's running like a smash mouth, this actually benefits?
Yeah.
Yeah, and finding good run blocking tight ends is not easy for the most part.
Mm-mm.
Right. I think let's say let's say I take over a team and this guy's on the roster, then I'm passing to him on third down only, probably,
Mm-hmm.
and using him as a blocker. And
Yep.
maybe that's what we're seeing here too. He's got 4 targets a game, basically. I know it's small sample size, but yeah. So the depth of those plays is not that impressive. Pretty unimpressive, really, for a tight end. But yeah, I mean, you can find a role for him for sure. Personally, I
Yeah.
would never take a tight end that had this route running like this. I mean, but that's because I think of them as just, you know, receivers, basically, right? I don't
Yep.
care if they've got blocking. I can have 0 blocking, to be honest, because in my way of using them is to just, they never do pass protection anyway. So
Yep. I'm right there with you. Like, I don't even care about their pass blocking bar.
okay, we'll see with Peppers, but yeah, as a blocker, I think it's intriguing. Okay, this is an AI pick, Sweeney.
Great
So
pick.
let's just be quick. It's good, pretty good, right? Size
pick.
is
Great pass
okay.
rusher.
Yeah.
Amazing pass rush.
This is your
Yeah.
best 3-4 DN
Stupid
in the
AI.
draft.
That was wrong. Okay, just he's the best 3-4 pass rusher, you reckon, yeah? Or
Yeah.
defensive end pass rusher at least.
Just
Interesting.
defensive end.
Yeah. Vancouver. Wide receiver again. He looks pretty good, doesn't he?
No.
You don't like him?
No.
Okay, let's caveat that. What should he have looked like? Okay, should have looked better.
Just
Oh,
go
he should
look
have
at
been.
what I think it's Tyrone Schwartz. It's the guy
Schwartz
that.
didn't end up looking that good either.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, let's
But
let's
that's
bring
the
up
guy
Schwartz.
that.
He's the next wide receiver that goes to.
We got to bring
Yeah.
up Rada if you want to get the whole picture.
Well,
Okay, let's
you
do
weren't
that.
considering Rada, were you?
Okay, I remember Rada because he ended up with a max route running, even though his solo sysmic was pretty low.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. So this is, I guess, the 3 wide receivers in the rest of round 1. But tell us about your guy, Rylan. What were you looking for here? What let you down?
Getting downfield let me down, really. This is what happens when you take a guy who has a failed agility drill in the first round and you expect him to have getting downfield. It's pretty dumb, and you pay for it.
So getting downfield, is it directly linked to agility, or are you just saying that because he failed that drill, it could have?
It's directly linked to agility.
Is it? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. As much as I'm willing to make that statement, I will say yes. It's
Yeah.
not in the draft analyzer, but I'm saying agility is getting downfield.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah, because otherwise agility in draft analyzer, otherwise it's only part of avoid drops, right? Which seems that does seem a bit unlikely, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of those hidden stats.
I had Schwartz and Rada both ranked higher than Duffy in my draft analyzer, and I wish I could tell you other than just panic why I took Duffy, but I don't know. I liked his route run, not his route running, his soul score. Had the better soul score of any of those guys. But he ended up being what he should have been with a bad agility score. With back getting downfield.
Can you remember what color he was?
Sure, he's green.
he's green, so that high solar should give him a pretty high route running in most cases. Then,
Yeah,
which
and
it has done. Yeah.
yeah, no complaints about the route running. It's
Yeah.
just I don't want to throw him the ball that many times because it's getting downfield stuff.
So okay, so I've got a guy on my roster who I think he looks a bit like this. His courage is actually terrible compared to Duffy, but let's just bring him up quickly. It's okay. He's not a starter, but it's Akman Garcia. So he's kind of superficially similar, I guess. And I mean, he's flying this year, right? So in terms of like pure yardage, this guy can put out for you. It could be pretty good, couldn't it?
I mean, the potential's there. The big thing is is it reliable? Which I don't think it is without a good getting downfield bar.
Well, these guys can always recover from a dip as well. So he dipped a lot by the league scout. I see him not dipping quite so bad as that.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing I ended up hoping for that was Tuson's suggestion was maybe he'll take some double teams off of Askin, but that's a pretty low bar for a first round pick.
Yeah, and you don't think 50 big play is
It's fine, but it's not going to like make him someone I want to throw the ball to a bunch.
I'd also say it's fine, but I prioritize getting downfield over big play every time.
Yeah. Road machine making some more coffee. We want to hear what the wide receiver expert has to say.
Yeah. Are you there, Rose?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. The wide receiver god. What do you make of these three guys? I mean, in your system, they would be insanely productive, wouldn't they? All of them, or do you see some weakness in particular in Duffy that would limit his role in your system?
No, the guy I like the least is Schwartz, for sure. For sure.
And what is it you like the least about him? The route running is just kind of average, or what?
Yeah, he doesn't have a great route running bar, and his courage is pretty low, so he's limited to outside routes. Yeah, and he's probably his best bar is the BPR. I mean, his avoid drops bar is okay, but it's not that great either. Of course, Duffy it's going to be a good possession receiver. Probably not going to break 1,000 yards ever. But I like Duffy. I like Duffy, and Rada is a route running merchant, of course.
Yeah.
I think I'd like Rada over the other two, but
yeah, me too.
Not. I don't see him that much better than Duffy, to be honest. At least for my system.
So, what I would ask is, do you see Duffy as like is he a wide receiver 2 or is he a wide receiver 3 in your system?
In my team, these guys would probably be a wide receiver 2, I think.
Okay.
Because my best wide receiver right now is 52, I think.
Yeah.
Let me check. But yeah, it's 52, Albert Barlow. So yeah, probably wide receiver 2.
Okay.
And when you say wide receiver 2, are you just talking about, the volume target share, or is there something a bit more to it when you say wide receiver 2 as well?
No, I mean this guy won't be a 10 target a game type of player, most likely. But I mean he can be targeted almost every route. Probably not screens, but
I'd say he's probably he falls into like the 6 to 8 target range game.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He's not going to produce a lot after catch,
No.
but it's all right as long as he's not your best route runner in the formations you're going to use him. He can still do something because he has a decent BPR.
Hmm.
Exactly.
And he's getting outfield is not. I mean, it's 22, but it's not zero either.
Well, bad news for me then, because he's going to be the best route runner in my formation.
Yeah, that would be a problem, probably.
Well, he's the best route runner, but he's hopefully taking away the double teams away from his actual wide receiver one, which is Haskin.
Mm.
Oh yeah, then he's going to serve a purpose.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. Well, I won't be double teaming in Rylan anytime soon when this guy's on the field, at least.
Sorry, Rylan. Sorry.
Yeah, that is, and actually doubling is something that I have used against Vancouver quite a lot with some success, not great levels of.
Yeah, but we can talk about the elephant in the room, which is the guy Rylan had who basically died.
Yes,
Hicks.
I saw that. Let's just bring him up. Sorry, Rylan.
No problem.
Sorry.
Feel free to drop out of the call for the next 2 minutes.
I wasn't gonna bring it up. Sorry.
Okay, so here he is, Hicks. So this was a 1-3 pick a couple of years ago. I was going crazy that this guy didn't go 1-1 or 1-2 and just ended up on Vancouver's roster.
Just bring up
And
the
then
link, Scout.
His route running and getting downfield just died after PS2 this year.
I'm sorry, man.
The weird part to me is that his big play went up.
Wow. So it is well, I'm not sure what the real it is a real bust, isn't it then, if his static bar changed?
I have no idea.
I mean, this is like a volatility nerf stick.
Yeah, but his volatility is very low, 5.
I know, but it still has a chance of happening, and I feel like this is the kind of scenario where, unfortunately, you really got the bad luck.
Yeah. I think this is what is so called a volatility stick of death.
Yep.
But I think if it was that, his big play receiving would have got nerfed. That's his static bar. That's the big tell if you got the volatility stick of death, is their static bar.
Big tell, but is it the only tell?
I think really it's hard to find exceptions to that rule. It may be one, but I think it's hard to find them.
Yeah, this is a tough one. It is overall a state high, but it's in all the bars that you don't care for that much, right?
Well, no, he has the special team bar.
Yes.
It's a very expensive special team right now.
If only he had returning.
Yeah. But I mean, this kind of show you that the volatility stick of death is not that related to the volatility rating.
Not in a predictable way, no.
No.
It can happen to anybody, anywhere. It just sucks.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
I'm not entirely sure that volatility rating is tied to players suddenly dying or booming. I have a theory. It's just a theory. And it's not related with ratings moving or whatever. I think the volatility rating is showing us a different thing, which is volatility in performance during the season. And I have pretty strong evidence of that. I have a quarterback in another league, and he has a volatility 1. He basically plays the exact same performance every single game. I mean, the guy is averaging 2 touchdowns a game, and he's thrown in 8 games, and he's thrown 2 touchdowns in 6 of those games, and then 1 and then 3. and almost always the same type of performance. Because I don't see anything that is telling me that that volatility rating is related to players suddenly dying or booming or whatever. So it must be something, but we actually don't know.
Yes.
So that's a theory, of course.
I like this theory. Just saying, I like this theory that the volatility is not necessarily, dictating if they're going to boom or bust, but it's dictating the variation of their play level.
Yeah.
This is
It's
one
probably a
to
theory, but
look into. This is something that I'll be having a look at for sure. See if I can find some evidence of. See if I can find a volatility one player somewhere and see what I can find.
Incoming, everybody getting volatility like 1 and 0 players.
well, but just go check after the meeting. Go and check my quarterback in the VNEFL or V3 or whatever.
Yeah. Okay.
You'll see.
Yeah. Okay. One more quick one on these wide receivers, Rod. You mentioned before, you sort of said about avoid drops as, yeah, all these guys avoid drops bar is fine. Now, I would take a wide receiver with avoid drops 0. And the reason that I would do that is, I mean, it's another one of these. I don't see the link between the bar and it's like a messy stat, right? If you look at how many catches what their catch percentage is, there's a lot of variables that are going into that. The defensive coverage. So was it a good or a bad pass? Blah blah blah. Right. So you can have a very high avoid drops bar, it seems to me, and still not be catching. Maybe catching the ball a bit like Tyrone Schwartz is at the moment. 7 catches from 9. Yeah, which is way below 50%.
I fully agree. I've had wide receivers who have a very high avoid drops and have been top 5 in drops in a season. Like I think the bar means something, but I don't think it's like a huge bar to look at when you look at wide receivers. I think
if you
there
over
are other bars that are more meaningful than that bar.
Yeah, and if you over target them, their efficiency will drop too, right?
Yep.
So there's a lot of what is it about avoid drops that you like, Rod? Maybe that's the good way to frame the question.
No, I think avoid drops matters a lot more when you target those guys deep, because drops are not that they don't happen that often in short routes, but in long routes they do. And well, yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
So I guess it's kind of how
that's
you
very
build
interesting.
Your wide receiver core of where are like they better getting downfield, maybe better yards after the catch, or are you looking for more deep routes where that avoid drops matters more?
Well, I tend to carry a lot of receivers, so
like sure do.
Just 10.
And I always try to find different bar profiles, so I can. Sometimes I just throw the ball to I don't know, a 22 BPR guy, and I throw a deep route or deep ball to him. I mean, I have to do it. Let's keep the balance. But yeah, I tend to look for different profiles. Let's leave it at that.
Well, another interesting point to bring up on that aspect is like, say you have a guy who has like 30 route running, so you're throwing him like maybe 5 to 6 targets in a game. Are those targets better being deep routes, medium routes, or short routes? And you could argue like, oh, hey, you have the highest risk or highest reward by throwing him deep routes because you're not going to get much from those other route trees type of thing.
Yeah, I mean, it depends.
Just something to think on. Like,
yeah, I have a guy here. Which is I don't know his name. Fantocci, me parece. I think he's his name. Fantocci, yeah. I changed a few things in the game plan for this game, and he's 23 route running, and I targeted him 7 times this game.
Hmm.
Yeah, this guy.
I'd throw him deep routes.
Yeah, I threw screens to him.
Okay.
Yeah, with the big GD bar there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and maybe uh, I don't know, a curl or a deep in or something like that. Yeah, see, this is a receiver I like. I think this is a fine receiver to have.
Mm.
He's not going to soak out a lot of targets because he's also zero endurance, but
Yeah.
Quick
it's fine.
question. Were you in on the Honeycutt sweepstakes?
Sorry?
Antonio Honeycutt?
Where
This
did
is free
he end up,
agent this
Tucson?
last year. Did he go to Tijuana?
Sounds quite likely.
No, I think he's
No.
in Raleigh. I think.
Okay. Yes, he
Yeah,
is.
yeah, he is. So what do you think of this guy?
He's pretty
Oh,
cheap.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. This was my very under-targeted wide receiver because I had just had better options.
I mean, this guy's at least he's going to be a decoy
Mm-hmm.
at the very least.
Yep.
Yeah, the problem with this guy is he's not going to be able to play a lot of downs.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to be a situational player. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I like this guy, but
Yeah, he'd be great on your team, I think.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I mean, I like the courage bar probably more than anyone.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, I'll take this guy with a zero courage bar, of course.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I would struggle having this guy as my leading receiver for sure.
Oh yeah. No, I think he's more like a wide receiver 3. But
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I agree.
just curious what your thoughts are on him.
Should we wrap up on these three on the wide receivers? I mean, we didn't say
Yeah,
a lot
I
about
think we
Radler
should.
and Shorts. I guess Murfreesboro is going to
Uh,
be pretty happy with this pick, especially at 128.
yeah, like with how it played out, Rado was the best of the 3. But these were all going into, like, if you looked at it from a standpoint from the draft analyzer, these guys were all pretty much on par with each other. And it's how did you rank them? Were they, 4, 5, 6? It doesn't matter what your order was. It just kind of worked out this way.
Yeah, and they're all they're all going to be useful at least, right? I mean, every single one of these guys is a wide receiver 2 potentially at least,
Yeah,
or
and all 3 of these
maybe
guys were
maybe at
worthy
most,
of a
but
first round pick.
possibly, yeah. I mean, when you account for the fact that they're not going to
Especially
they're
in our
not going to
draft.
stick around, right? Human GMs will take these guys before, by them before the second round is starting in most cases,
I'm also going to asterisk, especially in this last draft.
and especially in this last draft. Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't be that unhappy
No.
with Duffy or, of course, Rada is for me he's the best, but
Yeah,
Duffy
he
is
moved.
pretty nice. I
Yeah.
mean,
I think Ryland's more down on that pick than he should be.
yeah,
Because he dropped as well, right? So that's
no,
always
and
disappointing.
because he had also a bust last year in the first round, so
Mm-hmm.
it's 2
Oh,
years in
did
a row.
he? But did he? We'll get to that. The call is going to end, so I'm failing my duties as host to speed things up. I mean, let's. Was it me last time, Rylan? Are you able to drop us one more link in the chat?
Yeah, I'll make one.
Thanks, man. Talk to you in a minute, guys.
Yep.
Okay.
Start recording. Yeah. Okay. We should have the screen sharing No.
Mhm.
Okay, it's turning into an epic, but I think there's some good discussion of some nerdy topics. We're into the 20s. Are we? No, 119. Courtney Prentice,
close.
Houston. So
I
close.
I feel like this guy dropped.
Oh, he dropped a lot. 16 points by the league scout.
Yeah. Mhm.
That sucks because this is not
Yeah,
a first round player, is it? In any world?
No.
Not now.
Not now.
No.
Exactly.
This is a second rounder at this point.
That high?
Yeah. But mid to late second round, he's a strong safety who can start. He's not like an amazing strong safety who can start, but he's still a starting strong safety, which I still think is worthy of a first like 2 round pick.
I'm just having
Yeah,
a look. I'll go ahead, Rylan.
I had him as a second rounder in the first place.
This is how he looked like in Draft Analyzer, which let's say safe to say he looked a lot better than how he came out.
Yes.
Think
The
that's
the one cause for concern, which is why I'd like never really considered him, was the interception bar. I didn't like it.
yeah, and the 37 position drill, which is connected to that. Yeah. So there was signs.
Mhm.
Yeah, but I think I guess Houston not too happy there, and yeah, a hard bust. So unlucky.
That's all right. That's gonna be like a lot of the picks coming up.
Yeah, so State College. This is Coyote Vice, I think, right? Let's have a look. Did this guy?
Already out for the season.
Oh, he's out for this. Yeah, he's out for the season, but he'll be okay. He'll be okay with that injury.
He'll be okay.
Yeah, he'll be okay. He's an affinity. State College plays heavy pass, I think.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yep. So this fits into what they run. Like
so he's
this is
smart,
fine.
got the bars, and he actually popped up a bit, I think. I think was it 60 by the league scout to start?
Yeah.
Yeah, so a late round boomer.
This is a great pick as far as I can tell.
Yep.
Very good. Yeah, really
Absolutely.
nice. Okay, he's
Sucks he's out for this first year.
Sucks he's out this year, but he's got many years ahead of him where it looks like he's going to be a really fine contributor to their team.
This is probably like another, 8 or 9 year pick. Good pick.
What do you notice, Boots? What do you notice about this? It's related to you.
Okay. Yeah, not sure what you're angling for.
What did you do with your first round pick?
Oh, was he a center?
He was.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yes, he was.
Okay, so
An oversized center.
we had 2 center to guard conversions in the first round this year. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty damn rare as far as I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a good point. So let's bring the draft analyzer across. So here he is, Benson. So he came out looking. Okay, but the thing that surprises me here is that he gained weight from 299. Okay, but that puts him on the heavy end for a center, I guess. So he could have gained weight before switching positions.
And he's 6'3". And he's 6'3".
And he's 6'3". Okay, interesting. Well spotted.
Yeah.
Good pick. Good conversion.
Very good pick.
So center to guard worked. Case number 1. Okay, next is Venables. I think he was predicted maybe to go a bit higher on quite a few of the mock drafts. Could be wrong there.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, maybe it's just I remember maybe it's just because I remember his name coming up for some reason. So he stayed kind of steady. His whole rec is pretty low. His solar system was high.
I wanted to see road draft this guy.
Yeah, he's too heavy. But yeah, all his solar system went into his route running, right? That's what happened here.
Yep.
I mean, this is the AI, right?
It is the AI, yeah.
It is. Yeah. I wanted to see what this running back would do with Road throwing him the ball a lot.
Well, we got
Road is muted right now, but
that was he was
This guy, this guy, you mean?
yes.
Yeah, he's too heavy, but
yeah.
I mean, if he was 10 pounds lighter or something like that, I would consider drafting him. But I mean, I drafted a running back, um, uh, turned him into a wide receiver last season, and
And you've cut
he's
it
gone.
nice. Yeah.
No, I wasn't even thinking like a wide receiver conversion. I really like this guy in your system as a running back.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've never been able to get a lot of running backs like this guy.
Hmm
So I wouldn't spend a first round in a
No.
I know
in
this is purely from an informational standpoint on my perspective, but I wanted to see what this guy could do in your system.
yeah, maybe I would. I'll try maybe one day, but I mean, you
Like
want to draft for my system in this league. If you want a guy like this, I wouldn't. I would maybe spend a third round or something like that, just to try because I've never tried.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's fair.
But I've never been able to make this kind of running backs work. So
Yeah.
that's why I would spend a third round, but not the first, most likely.
Yeah, and he's running okay for Horsetooth this year so far.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, tiny sample size. Maybe best to just ignore that actually.
Yeah.
Okay,
Probably.
at least he didn't bust, which is more than we can say about some. Oh,
Speaking of bus,
speaking of, oh, goodness me, how much did this guy throw?
yeah, this one hurt. This one hurt.
25 points according to the league scouts.
Sorry, Georgia.
Yeah, well, they're good enough already, so they didn't need a first round pick this year.
No, but this guy looked like he was a fucking bona fide amazing linebacker, and
Wait.
he
You don't
still
even
got
have
good
him.
run D.
You didn't even have him in the first round mock.
Yes, I did. I mocked him to Chris.
Okay, let's bring Draft Analyze over again. I mean, that's what he looked like in TA.
Like I'm almost positive I mocked this guy to Chris in the first round.
You did not.
But he's yellow, right?
What?
Yeah, maybe I didn't. I thought I did.
I mean, in Draft Analyzer, he looks pretty good. So
No. Yeah. You were the only one who looked smart in this mock by not having him in the first one.
Okay. I'll take what I can get.
okay, but he busted hard, and he's off the team sooner than pretty damn quick, I guess.
You think?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, what?
Alright,
Okay,
he can still
go
play
ahead.
the
Why
run.
not?
He can still play the run.
Yeah,
capable
but what
for that.
happens when the opponent passes?
Well, Road doesn't believe in coverage bars, so who needs coverage bars?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Oh,
God damn it.
I'm mixing this guy up with Cody Bishop.
Okay, so you keep this guy around for 8 seasons till he's got loads of cohesion. Yeah, I can see it.
Hey, as long as you're only playing him in run D, like he'll be fine.
Guess what, Tony? This guy doesn't suck, we discovered. The thing is, you can't play them only in run D, can you? I mean, unless somebody
No.
has a game plan where they literally only run when they're playing, two wide
I mean,
receivers or whatever, right?
you could try like just base 2 and goal line. There you go. But yeah,
I mean,
this pick hurts.
Yeah, I'm massively disappointed, and he's getting cut. If it was me, let's say that. This is another AI pick, so kind of whatever. Quick comment maybe on
Good.
his run blocking for a left tackle. Is that going to hurt too much, or would you start a guy like this if his bars were fully developed? I mean, Roach, you would,
I mean,
for sure.
well, IFL is developing into a passing only league, except for like if you're Ryland. So good pick.
Motherfucker AI.
You really wanted this guy in the first round.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for a passing system, perfect left tackle, basically.
Yeah,
Super
absolutely.
intelligent, massive pass blocking bar, 20 years old. Amazing. Yeah. Miami Vice. This is Rick. Okay. The small guard. What do we reckon?
I wish
The
I'd
bar-
taken him instead of the wide receiver.
Okay. I didn't have this guy on my short list. I mean, I was looking, O-line was in play for me, and I didn't have this guy on because his size scared me off, both height and weight.
I had,
Doesn't matter, you think?
I'm just laughing because I had him up to you.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. You did. And I mean, I did look at him because bars wise, he's what I was looking to add. I had a right guard that was wanting a lot of money, and I didn't think was worth it, basically. And he's a bit on the small side, the guy that I didn't want to pay. His bars are not as good as this guy. They're weighted more towards those bottom two. Okay, he got picked before me. I was on the board anyway. But yeah, the size put me off this one. I'm not sure if there's anything to consider about the size, or whether I should have just totally overlooked it and said the bars is all that matters, really.
I wonder at that height if his BMI is actually average for a guard.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
Tuson's back, I hope. Hey, Tucson. So the conclusion here that actually his BMI is probably, is where it needs to be, and that's maybe more important than, overall size.
I don't know that I'm going to say more important, but at least if you're not getting ideal size, getting ideal BMI is something.
Yeah, true. Let's have a quick look. He maybe dropped a little, but nothing too damaging. He's also pretty young, very smart, I think. Yeah, good pick.
Definitely.
Okay, Schwartz we had a little look at. This is the second of those center to guard conversions. He's okay. I'm not super excited about him. He can keep up that blocking percent for his whole career if he wants.
He got right up to size now, didn't he?
Yeah, so he gained a bit of weight. He was over 300 pounds to start, and obviously he's really tall. So he landed on a perfect size for a right guard, and he converted at about 97%, I think. And then in PS2 he dropped a little. It looks worse to the league scout than what I saw. I think he went from like a 67 to a 63, which is no big deal, and he could easily go up again next year, I guess, to get
Were
those
you
numbers back.
considering other players here?
This was, I think, yeah, definitely, because like I mentioned at some point, I just had these massively long lists because my pick was really in the middle of the night, my time. So I mean, I can't actually remember, but I had a range of positions that I could have ended up drafting. So I think, seeing as I didn't have much control over it, this guy's going to be fine. And what I wanted to do was basically get a bit more run blocking capability now that I've actually got a good running back that I drafted last year, and I think for that purpose, this guy's he's gonna be fine, basically.
Yeah.
He's not that intelligent, but it's good enough, I think. Another
this was
corner.
a bust.
League Scout records a 10-point bust. Mainly, yeah, a little bit of everything. Actually, he lost everywhere, basically.
Yeah, I mean, this was a corner, and one of his biggest drops was his bump and run.
His biggest
Yeah.
drop was like his endurance. Do we believe his endurance is already maxed out as rookie?
Yeah, I mean,
And I tend to think his endurance is not maxed out right
No, I think it'll bump up a little bit.
and actually for a cornerback, 40 is okay.
now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's enough, but like at 63% developed, and I know bars develop differently. I don't want to believe that that endurance is all the way done. It's
No,
not it's not a punishing hidden bar. It's not a static bar. It doesn't come in fully developed.
I would agree with you. Like, I think his endurance is going to go up a little bit, which, I mean, it's an endurance bar. 40 is enough for a corner, so that's not like a huge deal. The real question is are those drops in the other bars going to maintain?
Boots, if you jump through the other corners really quickly, are they fully done with endurance?
So Blackwell is at 74% developed. Sorry, same one. Farms, yep, and he's 88% developed. We said he was super high anyway. Spencer, and so actually Spencer is the only one who isn't fully developed on his endurance bar according to what my scout sees. But they're all pretty high developed as well. None of them are, below 50% or whatever.
Yeah.
Let's have a quick look at a later round guy. He's also pretty developed. Yeah, looks.
Sorry. Let's just highlight Abel Blevins here,
Oh
number
yeah.
6.
Oh yes. This guy's pretty good. No plate diagnosis, but the rest of it, you got to be delighted with this guy.
Absolutely. And he's already got 2 interceptions.
And he popped up a little bit.
Yep.
Oh yeah, he's
But
having a good-
he is also one who doesn't have a fully developed endurance bar.
Mhm. He is. And the first one we've seen that's below 50%. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, pretty nice. Yeah, that's what Las Vegas should have picked here.
Yeah, Chris would probably tell you the same. Well, it also depends upon chem group because
Yeah.
Chris is very into the chemistry for this league.
Okay.
So in our mock draft, I put like every chem group plus what his chem leader is for a sign, so that we can better determine what he's going to pick in our mock draft.
Yeah. Yeah, and we talked about before, right? That when these guys get cohesion, they play better, and this set of bars is going to be perfectly adequate for a starting cornerback that's got some cohesion. So,
I mean, he's playing great so far. Like,
and he's
2
playing great
games,
so far. Yeah. Yeah. So he's gonna be okay, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, so next up we got Rada. We already looked at him a little bit. We're getting towards the end. So Gage Barlow, Tijuana.
Pretty good pick.
He basically
Good pick.
held pretty stable. He looks good, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Feels a little more like a right tackle than a left tackle to me, just based off the bars, but still a good tackle.
Yeah.
And obviously, if he's a left tackle, you don't necessarily want to move him to right tackle.
Yeah. In a danger draft, this guy came out pretty well, I think.
Yeah.
No, he looked more like a pass blocking specialist than he came more like a balanced player.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if he was looking for a pass blocking left tackle, I think he might be disappointed. But this is a fine player.
Yeah.
Yeah. I should have took this guy, and maybe he was on my list. and played him right guard. That's what we should have done. And I guess his overall probably would have gone up a bit then as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and especially in a draft class like we had, like getting this type of player at, end of first round, this is a great fucking pick.
Yeah, definitely.
So this guy had a really good 40 time and a so-so agility drill, but his bars were higher for pass blocking than for run block. So this is a confusing eval in my mind.
This is one to watch, where his bars go after this season. Because you would think, like, with how his combine turned out, that he would be a pass blocking specialist.
Yeah. Yeah, I like him. Just not sure exactly what's his best position.
Yeah, probably left guard, right?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
We'll see where he ends up. Yeah, he can play left guard, right tackle, left tackle at the moment. I mean, and these numbers can come up, of course, but he's pretty equal experience-wise in all of them. So
Mm-hmm.
the future is open for Mr. Barlow. AI pick, I guess,
Yeah.
and a big bust.
Yep.
We love to see it.
Yeah, and he was not. I mean, even before he busted, probably the bars we mostly would be looking for weren't that great anyway.
Yeah.
I had him as the worst first rounder by far.
Yeah. Before the reveal.
Yeah.
I don't even. I don't think any of us mocked him in the first. Did we?
Why would you? I think if he looked like this.
Yeah.
Only one idiot did. That was me.
Oh.
But did you mock him to error and therefore get points?
He.
I had him going to a different AI team. I had him going to Salt Lake City.
Yeah, and that's fair. Like, we are doing guesswork whenever we have those AI picks.
Yeah, and we know the AI likes defensive tackles.
The formula seems to be like, take your top-rated defensive tackle, throw him in the AI pick.
Yep. Yeah. But
yeah, also because those guys are the guys who are still on the board when the AI picks. So
True.
Yeah.
Because almost no human GM is going to draft a nose tackle in the first round unless he's a real stud.
Yeah.
And this guy was not a real stud.
No, he wasn't. He didn't look like anything worth anything really.
No.
But I can understand at least Rylan, like, mocking him to an AI. That makes sense at least.
Yeah.
For sure it does. Yeah. Because he was probably gonna, before he busted, he might have been a 55. That's definitely high enough for the AI to take in the first round.
And I think he did have a pretty high grade, so.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Vegas gets a second pick. Also dropped quite
Another
a bit.
bust?
So double drop.
Vegas could paint like a 1 hour picture of his linebacker draft busts to you if you let him.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm surprised Rylan isn't laughing at that. We hear it about like every time we do a mock draft.
I mean,
He's
busted,
still playable,
but I mean, when I'm looking at these guys, I basically look at what's his run defense, what's his zone, and what's his endurance.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they all could be pretty good.
This is still a starting caliber linebacker when he develops. Like it's not as bad as it looks. It just based off of what we originally saw, this hurts, but it's still not like a terrible pick.
If he turns out looking like if those green bars fill out, I think he's fine. maybe not quite a first rounder, but it's 131, so he's a second round pick basically anyway.
Mhm.
Oh, let's not do that.
Okay.
Every time I try to trade somebody my first round pick, they're like, "Ah, well, your first round pick's really a second round pick, so."
Yeah, but it is. I mean, who would pick?
Clearly
Who would
says
trade
first round right
132 for
there.
next year's first? Come on. Now, what do we? Anything much to say about this guy? I actually think he's going to be fine if he develops like those bars show. I think he's quite useful.
He's fine,
Uh,
and once again, something that I told Chris when he was like looking at his draft review. It's like this draft sucked. Like you have to grade it on a curve based off of what was
Yeah.
available.
Yeah. There's very few. Sorry, go ahead, Ron.
I'll bet he's most disappointed that his personality scores.
Yeah, probably.
Okay. Yeah. All right, last guy off the board. There was a better QB available, it turned out.
There was. Can you look at what the league scout thought of this guy? Because I thought that this was a good QB prospect.
Yeah, so let me see if I can find him on Draft Analyzer. It might be a bit easier to see the bars that way. Yeah, Ralph Ford. So
Yeah.
this is how he looks like to my scouts. Sorry. Before the reveal. So the shape is kind of similar. It's pretty
Mhm.
similar.
Yeah. I mean, short passes like that. If you drafted this guy, you're expecting like, yeah, his short pass is gonna suck. But every other bar looks not bad.
Zero's unfortunate there.
Yes.
You hope for something there.
Yeah.
How many of you guys would take a no combine quarterback in the first round?
Completely depends on if I've interviewed him or not.
So in other words, you might.
If I interviewed him and it turned out well, yeah.
Okay. Boots?
Yes. I mean, I'm not sure about this one because of
Just in general,
I think I can imagine yes, because if I think my scout is a good scout and his bars are, imagine we were looking at Morris Davis and he had no combines. I'll take that guy with no combines.
Well, I think everybody would.
Yeah, right. So there is a situation where I would take a no combine quarterback. So if I thought my scout was, decent and the quarterback looked exceptional, then for sure I would take one with no combine. Yeah.
Okay. Road?
I don't know. I think I wouldn't, to be honest. But I'm not exactly a great quarterback drafter, so I'm no. Short answer is no.
I mean, I think I wouldn't trade up for one, let's say, or make a really big investment. But if there was one sat there, I could imagine a situation where it could happen. What about you, Rylan? You asked the question. Would you do it?
I would. I love taking no combine guys.
Yeah. Okay. So we've heard about secondary guys don't need coverage bars, and we've heard that high courage, high avoid drop wide receivers are excellent from Road. So Road, what about this quarterback? Can you make this guy work?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably not. A system like Houston has, probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's fine. He's not a bad quarterback for a running team, in my opinion.
I think you could make this quarterback work, Road. I mean, like I said, it sucks with the short passes, but every other bar is like decent. He's got good timing. He's got good sense rush. He's got good read D. Like the 2-minute offense kind of really sucks, but beyond that, like I still think he could make this guy work.
I don't know. I'll need to know his avoid interception bar, which is I'm checking now.
It's not gonna be good.
59. It's okay. Yeah.
59.
Yeah, it's workable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll take that. 59 every day.
Yeah, me too.
hmm
Yeah, I mean, my quarterback in the IHOF is worse than this, and he can, he has passed for 5,000 yards on a season before, once.
Like, I mean, if this guy reaches like what he has for his development, like this could be a starting quarterback. He's not going to be a top tier starting quarterback, but he could be
Yeah.
in the middle tier.
Yeah.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
his sense rush is okay, right? Is
hmm
third down passing, maybe I would like a little bit more. Medium passing could, in many, especially if you run the ball, that's perhaps the most important bar, I would guess, for a quarterback. Because you're picking up your short yards maybe on the ground more, right? And you're using those medium passes on third downs. Yeah, I mean, I think this guy was worth a risk.
Yeah.
Let's have a quick look at Houston's quarterback situations. Okay, so he's got Wynn, who's much better, but he's getting old, right? So he's in a situation maybe where he's thinking,
hmm
take a couple of shots and see if I can luck my way into something nice to replace Devontae Wynn in the next 2 or 3 seasons as he starts to decline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, the problem Ford has is he's 25 already. So
Mhm.
if he starts in, I don't know, 2 years, 3 years, he's going to be like 27 or 28.
Yeah, yeah.
And he is going to take 2 seasons to develop.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Wynn is a mentor, which is good.
Yeah, but if Ford
He's
is
still going to
not
take 2
playing,
seasons with the mentor.
Yeah.
yeah. And he's not going to play, I think.
Probably not, but I mean, this is a potential transition QB for a year.
Yeah. Probably, yeah.
Yeah, and as you say, Houston is heavy run as well, right? So even Wynn, Wynn could pass the ball a lot if he was in a different system, right?
hmm
But he's going less than 3,000 yards a year. He's got
Yeah.
27,000 yards on his career in 12 seasons. That's really low volume,
Yeah,
right?
and Ford is also a QB who has quite a bit of scramble, so like that
Yeah.
fits into that running,
Yep. Yep.
offense.
And if
And
he's
Wynn is making almost 60 million a year. So for a running team, this feels like,
for handing the ball off.
yeah. I
That's
mean, this
got to be
guy,
a weird thing, like where he just extended him or
Okay.
something, right?
Yeah, because he signed him as a free agent,
Oh
and
yeah,
then I think
yeah,
he
yeah,
just extended him.
yeah. So he's had a double bonus hit this year or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, for 30 million is a good quarterback.
Oh
For
god, yeah.
60 is a little bit on the
And he
expensive
won a
side.
bowl
But
with him.
yeah,
And he won a bowl with him. So all
yeah,
questions answered.
Yep.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I think Ford was a good gamble probably
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
the last pick of the first round, and he's okay.
I definitely had Ford going a lot higher than what he actually went because I thought he was worth the gamble.
Yeah, no arguments for me for this one.
Yeah, and the pick made sense. That definitely.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What's maybe we're gonna need to wrap it up here, I think. But what's your take on the passing bars versus the kind of accuracy timing 2 minute read defense and stuff like that road? How do you if when you're looking at a guy, you looking for the passing bars first and those other things as nice to have, or the other way around maybe, or a balance, equal balance?
Well, it depends on the system I'm using. In this for this type of system, which is the only league I have playing a heavy passing game right
Mm-hmm.
now, at least that I'm paying attention to. Um, I'll focus on the sense rush and avoid interception bars. The rest I don't care too much, to be
For a
honest.
heavy pass.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
You
Um,
traded all those picks for an 80 quarterback because you don't care about all the rest of the bar?
I'm glad you asked that
exactly.
question.
Yeah, but no, the problem in this league is I don't have wide receivers.
Okay.
if you remember, it was the time that I completely broke my wide receiver room because
Yes.
I turned every wide receiver I have into a running back and exported and forgot about it, and then basically everyone died. So I didn't have a decent wide receiver, and I said, okay, so let's try this. Let's try this quarterback. Also, he's a chemistry fit for everyone,
Mhm.
and that was the reason. Well, he's not a chemistry fit now because
Yeah.
things, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I would prefer to have a 50 rated or 55 rated quarterback with a better set of receivers, but it is what it is. I mean, I've been unable to find a good wide receiver in the first round for years.
Well, yeah,
Why take
because
one in the first round when you can take one in the sixth round or wherever you got this guy?
Yeah,
he's talking about, yeah. But
yeah,
no, I get what you're saying, because wide receivers in this league, and honestly, the only other league that I'm in is TFL, but they are a premium. Like, you
Yeah,
take them
for sure.
high, or you don't get a chance at a good wide receiver,
yeah,
or you kind of hope that you luck into one at the late, stage of the first round.
yeah,
You can get them later. I mean, all the leagues I'm in, I think I've one wide receiver in the first round, but I've got some pretty good 50 to 60 rated guys that if you just a little bit, if you pay careful attention to the combines and you really prioritize certain bars, I think they're gettable later as well.
I mean,
Not 60
it
plus, but
depends. It
yeah.
depends. Like, I think there's only one wide receiver that I've drafted outside of the first round who has been better than like a 50 overall in both leagues, and that's Juan Farmer in this league.
Yeah, no, I think you can pick up more than that, but yeah, but it's a good story, Road. So basically, the story was you converted all your wide receivers into running backs for no apparent reason. Then you pressed export for no apparent reason. Then you
And you
forgot
just
to
win a
go
bowl
back and
anyways,
correct it. And
and
then
just win a bowl anyways.
and then you just got a good quarterback and went to the bowl twice. You didn't win the bowl though, unfortunately, right?
no,
I think you'd lost the last two, right?
yeah.
Oh, that's right, you lost.
Yeah.
That's all right. You'll win one before I will. Don't worry.
I don't know.
So,
I'm
yeah.
not sure about that because my team
Okay.
last season was carried by the defense, and my defense is starting to die down. So because
Yeah.
I have
Yeah.
a lot of old guys, and they're actually already dropping that guy. I think Boots killed that guy,
But but
Zach
see,
Otis.
I have to get by Rylan and Joe and Boots every year, and that's just it's not happening.
Yeah, that's rough. I know that's rough.
Guys, I gotta tell you, we're just about to cut off, and I think we should probably park it here, right? Because between technical and talking a lot about these guys, that's well over 2 hours. We've been
Absolutely.
sat here now, so
Absolutely.
it's been great to catch up with you all, and yeah, thanks for taking part.
Thanks
Thank,
for making it happen.
thank you, thank you,
Yeah.
thank you. It was fun,
Yeah, it's great
definitely.
great to great to have you on, Road. Thanks, man.
No, thank you for having me.
Road, I want to know what your topic idea was. Maybe we can talk about it another time. A little teaser preview, perhaps.
Oh, sorry.
You told me you had a topic you wanted